Here we are, another beautiful morning. It's all set up, ready to go deliver a few loads of gravel. Check everything over again before we go. Make sure everything's hooked up right. Lights are working, tires are good. My weld's still holding up there. Yeah. You want to come with today, pup? You want to go? You want to go? No, you stay home. We got a big line here today. There's two of these semis in front of me. And if you look out that way, there's about 6 or 7 more trucks lined up. While I was driving here, I'd talk a little bit about something everybody thinks you make a bunch of money hauling gravel. And yeah, you can make a little bit of money, but you know, if you think about it, it's close to 10 o'clock now. I got up this morning about 6:30 and I got up about 6, left the house about 6:30. I've gotten 2 loads out. And I made 55 on one load, because it's a guy that I haul a lot of gravel to, and he's giving me some other work, and 65 on the other load. So I've made 130 bucks, 120 bucks. I should be better at math than that. And that doesn't include fuel, so I have to pay for that as well. So when you take out the mileage and all that, usually hauling gravel after mileage, expenses and things, I usually make about 35 bucks an hour, 35, 40 bucks an hour. And, you know, that sounds pretty good, but if you were doing this with gravel only delivery, if you were trying to make money just you know, delivering gravel to people, you know, you'd have a 1-ton truck, you've got a dump trailer, which would probably run you $4,000 or $5,000. I've got business insurance, which is about $1,000 a year. Commercial auto, another $1,000 a year. Then you've got all sorts of oil changes, maintenance, tires. You know, another video, I just had to make a repair on my dump trailer there. So you know, if you're paying somebody to do that, you're gonna spend a lot of money. If you can do it yourself, then all right. But you know, tires still cost money, things like that. You know, you need business cards, advertising. I've got little receipt books here that you know, people get their receipts for material I deliver. So all that overhead type stuff really adds up and makes that 35 bucks an hour not a whole lot. Main reason I do it is advertising. That house I just delivered to, they've got a lot of land there. They just bought the place. They definitely need some help on some drainage issues and a couple things I looked at while I was there. And so they've got a card of mine. Maybe they'll tell a neighbor. Maybe they'll need some work done. So it kind of leads to other jobs. And I just kind of enjoy doing it, meeting people. So that's kind of fun. And to get out a little bit on a Saturday. My wife probably hates me, but I should be home before noon. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting started in a gravel delivery, you know, there's some numbers to help you out with. And you know, those also assume that you're not going to get any speeding tickets. You're not going to have any accidents. Heck, I think last year I got a load of gravel and I forgot to put the pins in my tailgate. And I pulled out onto the street and was going down the road, and then I turned at a stoplight and I looked in my rear view mirror and I saw my tailgate had opened up, and I was just dumping gravel the entire time I was driving. So I had to obviously pull over. I had my shovel and my rake, and I spent like a half hour in the street cleaning up gravel, dumped it back in the trailer. So that could have been a lot worse, you know, if something happened and you lost a load and you needed to hire another contractor to come clean it up real quick because you were on a busy highway or something like that. And there's all sorts of what ifs that go on. But maybe your insurance will cover you that if you want to pay your deductible. But anyway, if you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to put them in the comments there, and I'll answer what I can, what I know, what I've done. And you know, the other part of it too is you got to be fairly good at it. So it took me a little while. I mean, I was always good at backing up trailers, that's no problem. But it took me a while to get good at dumping and spreading gravel. I'll show you later here in the video how to, you know, how I tailgated out. You know, the first dozen of them I did were not very good. Yeah, and you kind of need a place to practice if you can. So I did it a couple times at the house, and again, my first couple jobs weren't that good. And it's also a lot more difficult on a driveway that's shorter. That one was really long, so it's easy to, you know, just keep driving forward. But if somebody has a short driveway in town, you know, you start and you pull it, and then you gotta let your bed back down and then reverse into a different spot and do it again. And, you know, just going up and down is where you mess up. You either don't start off quick enough and leave a big pile, or you start off too quick and it's too thin at the beginning, and, you know, all sorts of different ways that happens there. But anyway, we'll pull back into the yard here and get another load, and show you guys a couple videos of getting gravel laid out for a couple different customers. Yeah, good. Some old rocks getting in there. Yeah, like I said, if you decide you want another one down the road, you know, we can bring more, and I can back up to the driveway at the house and pull this way, you know.
I saw you coming around that hill and hit that dip. I'm like, oh my God, please don't beat these trailers.
No, part of the problem is I forgot to turn my brake controller off. So my trailer brakes are real touchy.
Oh yeah?
And so I was reaching down and turning my brake controller off at the same time I was coming around that corner there. That ain't all good. There we go.
So what do you think about that incline?
5 point something, I can tell you here in just a second. You know, another way that people talk about making money with their dump trailers is renting them out. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can rent it out for people to tow it around, which I would never do. Or you can rent it out as a dumpster, where you tow it to somebody's house or project or whatever, take it off the truck, leave it there, put a lock on it or something, and they'll fill it up with trash and you haul it off to the dump. So I've considered doing that, but I don't know. I just figured there'd be a time where it'd be out on rent somewhere, getting trash put in it, and I'd need it to haul gravel somewhere, and that wouldn't work out. Or, the other problem is I was kind of worried about it just staying at somebody's house. And if somebody calls you and wants it, and they live in a bad part of town where, the people calling you are fine, but somebody else around town may not be. If they were to be able to steal that trailer, put it up on jacks, take their wheels and tires, anything, vandalized like that would really suck. So, I like it at my house. It's on my property. I can see it with my cameras, whatnot. So, I don't know. I kind of kicked that idea to the side. Decided not to rent it out either. But guys usually charge $250 to $300 to rent out a trailer of this size that would have, side bunks on it or sideboards. And here the landfill charges about 25, 26 bucks a ton, I think. So even if they filled this trailer all the way up with 5 tons of material, it cost you 125 bucks to dump it. So if you charge $250, you're gonna make $125 for a trip into town and a trip back out. It's not too bad, but I feel like there's a lot of liability with it. And the other thing is, nobody's ever gonna put 5 tons in this trailer, so you'll probably make more money. I mean, unless you got roofers putting shingles in it, or somebody puts boards in it and stacks them perfectly in there, or a bunch of brick or block. But for the most part, if people are throwing away trash, cleaning out a house or doing a remodel, throwing away plywood, drywall, things like that, it just stacks up in there in a way that leaves a bunch of airspace. So you're not going to get a full 5-ton load. So you'd probably have 3 tons in there, which would cost you 75 bucks minus your 250. So, be pretty good money. Anyway, I'm just worried about the liability of my equipment, and I'd rather just refrain from doing that, I guess. But you're more than welcome to get some side work for your dump trailer if you're not hauling gravel with it. So I figured I'd show real quick. This is my spreadsheet that I use that tracks all my expenses and income and has all my job information on it. So I filtered my job so it only has my rock deliveries. And this is in 2020. So you can see here, total this year, I've spent 24 hours hauling gravel, and I've made 750 bucks. So that averaged out to $31 an hour. And in 2019, same thing. These were all the rock deliveries I did in 19. Total of 73 hours delivering gravel, and that I averaged $28.71 an hour. And again, that's after fuel, after buying the material, but that does not include other overhead items. Now, I will say that the price for fuel I use in here, like if you look at this equation, that day I bought $480 or $454 worth of gravel from the rock yard. Looks like I hauled 5 loads that day. And then I drove 180 miles that day. And so I used 0.58, which in 2019, that was the federal mileage rate. So, I mean, theoretically, that amount there should include some vehicle maintenance and fuel, obviously, and things like that. So, if I just used 180 miles divided by, 15 miles per gallon times $2.50 a gallon for diesel, I'm sure this number would go up a bit, but I think it's kind of safer to use that mileage rate there, and that way that includes some of the other expenses that aren't, besides fuel. So that gives you a little indicator there of where I've sat the last couple of years.